Bassett. Here. And May is here.
Approval of the minutes from October 13th, October 16th, and October 20th, 2014 meetings.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from October 13th, 16th, and 20th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for October 13th, October 16th, October 20th. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Okay, treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report. The account balance is in the general fund. We have $5,044.42. The tax account has $2,098.45. The LGIP has $114,274.41. As of last month, I kept getting locked out of it, so I don't know exactly what this month is, but we don't have to be interest change on it, so it'd be slightly more than that. Airport has $34,340.58. The LGIP EMS count has $2.62, and the LGIP Airport has 55 cents. Checks that were written this month were for $1,687.15, and that's for the village of Palmyra. That was a bond for the fire truck. $39.25.84 for Coots Farm for road repairs. $33.20.61 for the Jefferson County Highway Department. $109.62 for We Energies. That was the street lights. $828.75 for Bender, Levi, and Larson for legal services. $150 for Biggie's. Don't know what he does, but I keep getting a bill from him. Oh, does he? Okay. $25 for the Palmyra Eagle High School for rental of the community center. $40.59 for Lang Enterprises. That was the fire sign that we ordered. $87.11 for CenturyLink for the phone. $93.90 for We Energies for the building. $118 for Don Locks, and that was to change the locks at the triangle. $75.30.69 for advanced disposal. That's an electronic transfer, so there's no check number there. $31.65 for Jefferson County Clerk for voting supplies. $204 for Margaret Burlingham, election worker. $219 for Don Ingenthrone, election worker. $183.48 for Sandra Murphy, election worker. $198 for Beth Johnson, election worker. $186 for Sue Halser, election worker. $369. Oh, that's supposed to be 40. Not 640.
Was that 6? Get he raised?
360. Yeah, he did. Like about 24% raise there.
You gotta watch him.
Yeah, I know. For Larry Kyle, $1154.37 for William May, the clerk's salary. $540 for Steve Washburn, Zion Cemetery mowing and trim. That just came in today. And $514.10 for the Daily Jefferson County Union for the ads that there for the budget meeting and for the election. And that's the treasurer's report.
I'll make a motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the November 10th, at this meeting, November 10th, the treasurer's report. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Emergency management plan.
This is for you guys to take a look at. There's more work that needs to be done on it. For one thing, I don't have maps of the town, which are good. We need to find out if there's another daycare other than the one out at the little Battle Creek School. I don't think there is, but I just kind of asked around, and nobody that I'm aware of was aware of one.
Another, like an arrival one of homes?
Well, one that falls under the states or the counties, you know, regulation.
I'm not aware of
County doesn't either, so. Okay, you'll notice on there are a few items that have a red star next to them. And when you get to those are things that we should just kind of consider, and there's stuff that you guys could think about. What I'd like for you to do is read this over. I think after the December meeting, we can make any corrections that are necessary, and Don, I hope these also looking it over, and I'm sure she'll have some things to say about it, and then we can try to put out a final one and for the, or we can approve in January, at least get it finalized next month. So that's what's done so far. It's really pretty basic, and everybody that I've talked to in other towns in the county is telling me that if we do have a disaster, we're gonna have about 10 minutes to do our part, and the county's gonna move in, or if it's a big one, FEMA's gonna move in. So our biggest chore is to dial 911, I think. So notify people. And we do have several places on there that we can deal with brush and garbage, and those are listed in the plan, the addresses are. The one thing we don't really have is a good place for white goods, refrigerators, stoves, that kind of stuff, because they can't go in the dumpsters, they have to be segregated.
Okay.
And so we need to think about that, whether we can stack them next to a dumpster, but it needs to be a good surface. You know.
Oh, good, sir, okay.
And somebody besides me needs to take the classes and get certified too. You don't need some old woman in charge of this. So, and it'd be nice to find somebody around Blue Spring Lake that would be interested too, and possibly getting involved. Once we get our plan put together, then it's pretty easy to talk to people about what they might do, and the board has the responsibility for appointing anybody that's appointed to it. So that's kind of the end of my report. We can talk about it more in depth next month.
Fire department.
I don't know anything about the fire department. Did you get any kind of a report? Oh, we have a letter about it, but I guess that comes up under,
That'll be,
yeah,
okay. Airport, it's not here. Blue Spring Lake District?
I have nothing there. Oh, wait a minute, I do have something, we're gonna look into getting grants or whatever to look at the boat launch. I've talked to numerous people that use it, and they don't have a problem with it the way it is. It's gonna need some work sometime. Dick had a problem with it, getting the weed cutter out, but he also said if he put a couple of yards of stone in the back of the truck, he didn't think he'd have a problem with it either.
does it
But
drag?
No, it picks the back of the truck up.
Oh,
So it's gonna need work sometime. I know that, I understand that, but we're looking into grants and what we can do with that. But the grants, they accept them year-round, and they have quarterly meetings, so we can do it next spring or this winter sometime, we can do something.
Building inspector, is there anything from him? He's not here, did you
No.
do anything?
No.
Highway,
Anyway,
that's you.
we guys are quick. We cleaned up some brush. I talked to Ed today about some stuff we did here in the last couple days. Just little stuff that was around the town in the right of ways. That should be wrapped up, that was wrapped up today. And then, there's a couple days of potholing on, some of the roads. We talked to Ed about that. So we'll get after those, mainly Hooper, Zion, because a lot of roads that were bad are not fixed, so it's not as bad as it was. So it doesn't take as much time to do so. So, with the board's permission, we'll go take a look at those and get those wrapped up, so we're kind of ready for the snow to fly, so to speak. That's it.
That's it?
Waiting for the snow.
I wanna back up a little bit to the airport.
We just,
Can I
as long as we're in highway, I'll finish.
Okay, oh, you got something, go
I had
ahead.
something.
Go ahead.
Zion Road isn't gonna get fixed this year because the county had that emergency work on County N, north of Jefferson. And they also didn't put the order in soon enough, and they followed up the order when they put it in. So, anyway, they can't do it now, it's too cold, the stuff will never stick for the overlay. So that'll be on their agenda to do first thing next spring when they get started working. And I'd like to put on the agenda for the December meeting that we have to address the IOH, because that has to be in place by January 15th.
You wanna translate that?
The implements of husbandry. And I will be having a highway meeting probably the first week in December. I gotta talk to Blaine and Dick to see when they're available. And we'll discuss it, and I'm gonna talk to the county also, because they discussed it. And that's what I've got.
Okay. I just wanted, Don wasn't here for airport report. It's my understanding that the new hangar is supposed to arrive tomorrow. And hopefully they get that put up so we can get everything rented out before the first of the year, so you get some rentals coming in. Correspondence.
I think this is a contract from the Humane Society. They sent me 2 copies of this. I assume we do a contract with them every year. It said our cost has, the rate will be $43.40.76, and we'll save $106.74. So this is not sure who's going to sign that, but that's the contract that they sent to us. This is a receipt from Wisconsin Inspection. They sent us a check for $254.90 for the inspections. This is from the Village of Palmyra. Apparently we have a joint EMS account with $200 in it. I understand it's been that way for a long time. Rural Mutual. I think this is part of the bonding for me, because it has a price of $871. I haven't talked to them yet. This came in just a couple of days ago. I think this is for bonding for me, for the tax collection.
Okay.
Tricor, this is the bond for the fire truck that we just paid for. This is a copy of that contract. This is from Jefferson County Planning and Zoning. They have 2 things here. They sent the letter on. One, at this time they're reviewed and discussed the possibility of adopting an ordinance relating to the placement of sexual offenders, and they're not going to be doing anything with that right now. They suggest that local communities do their own. And the other one is for when or wind energy system ordinance in action by the Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Commission. They sent me a letter what they're planning on doing. I can make copies of this for you guys if you want them. This is a decision by the Planning and Zoning Committee about the residents for Coolidge. They approved their his auto body business. Final statement assessment for manufacturing. I didn't know we had any manufacturing in the township, but apparently we have $8,000 worth, and we're going to get 53 cents next year. I don't know what to do with it all, but
Special meeting.
Frank Schuler has put in for it's a stairway down to the lake. He's redoing his stairway down to the lake. And I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Dustin and Michelle, I'm not sure if I can read the right homeless, but they're building a house on 106 out here someplace. That's been approved. And the last thing I have
See
Is
that
that
one?
Justin Thomas?
Justin Thomas?
is it Thomas?
Yeah, Justin.
Um, Maybe it is Thomas. It says-
If it's Justin. He's the only guy doing it also.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I couldn't quite read that last name.
Why can't they put it on?
Yeah, that's,
Sometimes you think.
that's Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This just came today from Standard Process. It's another letter they have about the annexation. This goes into a little more detail. It's quite lengthy. I'll give copies of that for everybody here. And they also have supplies with a nice map this time. There was another letter that came in that Just had a list of people that they sent it to, it was 10 or 12 people. I have a copy of that too if you want that. I think some of you have copies of it, but that just came today. And that's all I have for correspondence.
Do you have something?
I think this was a letter to the, I think it was to Larry, right, from the.
This is a letter
Yeah.
concerning our fire department.
Concerning my report at the last meeting about the fire department, or maybe the meeting before that. It's a letter from Dave Turner. There are just a couple of things in here that I think I ought to have an opportunity to respond to. If I misunderstood him, he says that he did not say the ambulance sold for $5,000, $6,500, or $8,000. He said it sold for $6,500. I even asked him about $8,000, and he said yes, and we talked about the fact that they took the box, everything out of it. So if I misunderstood him, I apologize to him. I certainly thought he said $8,000. As far as the little dust up over the title on the tanker trucker, the tanker pumper, I talked to Lori about that extensively. She said it was fine with her. If I tried to run it down, I called the company. You know, the problem was the company that it was bought from went out of business about 2 months after the fire engine was delivered. And so there was a search to try to find a title on it. I thought if it could save us money and could save the village money, it was worth me spending a few hours looking for that title, especially since I found a record of 3 different ID numbers for it and going back through the records. So I thought, well, we'll check them all out and see. I talked to Steve Nass's office. He recommended that that's what we ought to do, is try to go through that and see if there was any chance of saving some money. So I did. As it turned out, none of the numbers were valid numbers, and so there was no title issued for it that we could ever find. And the problem with not having a title is that they could have sold the thing twice. Sounds crazy, but they might have. So it's not likely that somebody would show up and claim it's their fire engine, but it's possible. And we need to have the thing titled, there's no question about it. So we paid the money. Lori Miller was certainly happy with it. I didn't see anybody complaining when I went in to pay the money, and I don't understand why it cost them any more work or any more time. I'm the one that did the work. So anyway, it's too bad that we had to pay money to get a bond, but we did. And it's certainly not the village's fault, and I never suggested that it was, and I know that Lori did her best, and I know that the other gal that was working on it did too. So anyway, that was the dust up on that fire truck. And I would hope that they wouldn't sell it, but they did sell the ambulance without asking us, and it's co-titled in our name, so I still legally do not understand how, when the titles say the village and the town, one entity can sell it without the other one signing off. What do I know? Anyway, apparently they can. So maybe that's something I'll figure out someday. Probably not tonight. Anyway, we do have a communication problem. I'll certainly agree with them on that. I thought we had a pleasant meeting. Apparently we didn't. So I have to say about it. Anyway, so.
Okay. New business. Discussion and action on bonding town treasurer for tax collection.
This was a letter from him. We can check with him. It says $875.
It says name insured, town of Palmyra. This is not a bill, so that must be in for us, right? It says
From 4/11 to 4/11/14. So maybe it is still in effect. I'll call him and find out.
Well, if it's not in effect, we need to, talk.
Because I talked to him about a month and a half ago, and he said there would be a special bond just for tax collection, but it'd be a short-term thing for the
tax
2 to 3 months, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll get a hold of him and find out exactly what it is before we do anything with that.
So you're gonna contact them and then report time about the status.
Yeah.
With that season will start January. Okay. Discussion and action on designating money from the LGIP for road work in 2015.
What I'd like to do is take any monies in the LJP in excess of $60,000 as of the end of this year and designate them for the roads. That'll give us some money to work with above what was budgeted and not deplete the LGIP. And that 60,000 would be roughly 10% of what our budget was this last year.
That was recommended by the auditor.
It was recommended by the Towns Association. The auditor recommends 20%.
All right, oh, it's a Tom, okay. You want a motion?
I'll make a motion to designate any money above $60,000 at the end of the year toward highway funding.
I'll second it. I want discussion.
It's been moved and seconded to designate any excess funds over $60,000 be spent for road work in 2015. It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Okay, I just want to make it clear that it's designated, it doesn't mean it has to be spent there.
Correct.
That's all.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. All business discussion and action on pay for Deputy Clerk Peggy Miller.
I'd like to abstain myself again.
Okay. You just want me to take it all?
There's water in the kitchen.
As you might know, we had some work to do after the former clerk left on getting books in order. And Peggy Miller helped our clerk treasurer for a considerable amount of time, and I talked to him about it. And he said it was probably in excess of 200 hours that she had spent since he became clerk. And so I'm recommending that we give her $950, which is about $5 per hour for her work. I hope that's not overpayment, but that would be my recommendation to the board. If she agrees to continue to help.
I have to continue?
I'm pretty hard to work with.
Yes, I will
Is
continue.
that agreeable?
Yes, it is.
Okay. I move to pay Peggy Miller $950 for her work, helping our clerk get up to speed at his new position.
Second.
Second, okay.
Is,
Do you
does
have
this
any
make her the
discussion?
deputy clerk now? So we already appointed her the deputy.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's still a deputy clerk.
Yeah.
That's why she
Like
still
her
has
not.
to work. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Public comment? You can come back, Ed. That's okay.
Can you hear us?
He's having too much fun.
Wake him up, bring him back. Public comment we have. Chuck Sullivan.
I'd like to know why we don't use the website, the town website. We're already paying for the site, and we haven't used it in quite some time. And this meeting tonight is a perfect example. They changed the normal time is 7 o'clock, and if I wouldn't have got a phone call, I wouldn't have been able to make it. I see no reason why we're not using that website.
You wanna answer?
The biggest problem we've had is we spent so many hours working on the books, getting the book straightened out, and then for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I've been working on the election. I've run meetings for that, getting that all straightened out, and, figuring what I need to do for the election. Now the election's over, and we just finished that up Friday. And I'm going on vacation, unfortunately, on Wednesday. So when I get back, I'll get that all set up so it'll be working by, probably not the December meeting, but hopefully I'll try.
Is that just kind of like cut and paste? on that website, or you
Well,
haven't got
I
into it
I
yet?
have the access to it, but every time I go in to do something, it kicks me out. So I gotta get a hold of them, and the last time I talked to them, I was on the phone for an hour and 45 minutes on hold, trying to get a hold of somebody to talk to. So, it's just some time, gonna take some time when I have the time to do it. I'll do that when I get back.
Okay,
It is our intent to have, meetings and other information on the website.
well, it's getting to be winter time, and
Right,
it's a lot difficult to
right.
drive over there just to see if we're gonna have a meeting or something.
I will get that done as soon as I can, after I get back from vacation.
Chuck Tomlinson? You're up.
No, I don't have, I'm sorry, I thought it was just a sign
Oh,
on. I'm happy. I'm gonna take my name off of it.
can't you think of some complaint?
No.
Come back next month. Joe Nussel?
I guess the only question I have is, for one of the resolutions that you passed, is Bill will put his hours, post his hours for when he's gonna be in the office. I know you've been busy now, but are you gonna
That would
start?
all be done at the same time, because I'll set the hours and have that up there, so it'll be done, when I can get access to it.
Okay.
I've had trouble doing that.
You'll post your hours when you
Yeah.
start posting on the website.
Right, that'll all be done at the same time.
And
Other
probably
information.
post them on the boards too. I think the resolution said the boards and the,
Well, I can post them out there, yeah, on
Yeah,
all
okay.
three boards.
I know you've been busy, so we're not pushing it, but it's just so that we don't forget that it's on one of the resolutions.
Can I say something to
No.
that? Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Noah's up here a lot, and there's a lot of people that either call the town hall and say they wanna meet with him, or they even just show up here and knock on the door, and Bill will let you in, and he's happy to talk to anybody. He's happy to make appointments with people. So he is available. All you have to do is call the town clerk, or email him, and he will meet you up here.
I check the email every day. If they mail it, then I'll make arrangements to meet anybody up here anytime.
Something important, just like call the town number and leave him a message, but he will be posting some weekly hours, when he gets the website up.
Is that what my feeling is? Once all this hassle gets settled, you won't have to be here every day from
Right,
morning to night.
right.
I mean, eventually, once everything.
Right, he will be spending a lot less time
Lot
here, but
less
he
time,
will
and that's
post,
when we
he
want
will
to-
post some hours that. that he's
Well, I
gonna be
still
here.
check the email every day.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carried, meeting's adjourned.